So continuing from yesterday, so did you uh, recall the times where you all uh, had harsh speech or all the harsh speakers? uh, did you all note whether you were speaking out of uh, kind intent or more out of our own anger? Hmm. Okay, Xing Hui, have a good day. Yeah. So um, I remember my teacher ever saying, and it was with respect to the Bodhisattva path, uh, and also precepts in general, but more importantly, the Bodhisattva precepts. So uh, when we when we look at the precepts, I think there's a tendency for people, and perhaps especially Chinese, to have the mindset that, oh, let me not observe the precepts because I can't do it yet. You know, yeah, I don't want to observe and then break the precepts. Mm. My teacher's advice is very interesting. Although he was trained in the traditional monastic environment in the monastery. So by right, he should be very traditional, but he's very a-traditional. Yeah, perhaps what we think of as traditional is not traditional, you know. So what is his approach? His approach is very interesting. He says when um, we can uh, we can start by taking up the precepts, and then we should have this attitude that when we take up the precepts, we start to learn the precepts. Yeah, it's a process of learning to take the precepts, learning how to observe the precepts. And we should then, in that way, put in effort to observe the precepts. Mm. And not to think that, oh, I cannot do it yet, so I don't take up the precepts. Now, this would be in line with what the Buddha himself said also. There was, I think, was a prince, and he was having the same kind of perplexity, yeah, about observing the precepts. And so um, the Buddha told him that, gave him an analogy um, that like a person who is blind, or if he were to versus a person who has clear sight, a person with clear sight would avoid uh, like something that's burning hot, but a person who is blind or blindfolded would may accidentally hold on to it and may not know to like put it aside quickly, whereas a person with clear sight would try to avoid the burning item to begin with, and if accidentally touched, would very quickly pull back from it. Uh, it is just like what I said the other day is similar, yeah, right, about um, forgiving people, right? That you just because people hurt us before, then uh, we don't have to hold on to it. Yeah, hold on to it. So as far as precepts is concerned, yeah, that's attitude. But how about the 10 wholesome deeds or 10 unwholesome deeds to avoid? Yeah, it's actually similar. Yeah. Um, the 10 wholesome deeds, which is to abstain from the abstention from the unwholesome deeds. Notice that they are not positioned as precepts, you know. Yeah, it's not positioned as precepts. So sometimes people say, oh, but it's not a precept, so I don't have to care. Yeah. But if you consider the Noble Eightfold Path, right, the Noble Eightfold Path, 八正道, then the 10 wholesome deeds is part of the Noble Eightfold Path. Yeah. So That's why the exercise that we're going through is not about that to demand that you do it 100% absolutely. But first identify, are we still subject to this? To have that awareness first. Yeah. Then further, either to avoid those circumstances that lead to the impetus, the impulse that we would do it. Yeah, that's the first part, just to avoid first. And then secondly, when it does arise, to overcome it. But even more importantly, to do contemplation reflection on the subject matter that trigger us. So there's always these two parts, the mindfulness awareness of our tendency, and then the other part, which is um, actually actually diffusing it, resolving it. Yeah, meaning that before it happened, we reflect on the subject matter, and it's totally at peace with it already. Yeah, that means internally we are okay with it already. So that when we encounter again, it doesn't trigger that. I must still apologize. Some of you text me about, in fact, one or two exercises before about the different exercise. I'll try to reply you all today, but today later I have translation. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting less efficient. I never have backlog one, in the past. Yeah, I always finish whatever I need to do that same day. These days, jialat. So I will try to do it by today. Today there's Tuesday meditation, but it's not me. Yeah, so I will have time to clear backlog. You see, that's why if every day morning there's something, evening there's something, data, then jialat. Yeah. Oh, okay. So go and try the exercise. Try to. What was the exercise I gave? No exercise. So on harsh speech, try to catch yourself, catch your intent, the before you speak. Okay, can. Hmm. Uh, Tuesday, terrible Tuesday. Have a terrific Tuesday ahead. I mean,